We are now live. Good afternoon, guys. Good afternoon and happy lunchtime on a Win Wednesday. This is Caz Abrams. Welcome to my channel. And today we'll be talking to Pabi Moloi about all things wellness. This is active lifestyle, and of course, this is a continuation from the show that she does on the weekend breakfast show, where I'm lucky to have an opportunity to share all the tips on wellness on Power FM. But we're going to do this every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Monday. I have different guests, but every Wednesday we have Pabi on board, and we've decided to give you guys a bit more of the active lifestyle to try and reach a wider audience. And I know there's a lot of people out there that want to know about exercise, they want to know about food, health, what to do, what not to do. So at 1 p.m. in a few seconds time, Pabi will join us. And of course, every week we'll give you tips on the 7 dimensions of wellness. Now, those 7 dimensions are physical, emotional, intellectual, and that covers mental as well, social, environmental, occupational, and spiritual wellness. You know, to be happy, you find you want to be balanced in all these different areas of wellness. It's not just being physically well or emotionally well. It's all these different things, and that will make sense as we go on board and start to unpack and give you tips on how to be as balanced as possible. If the whole society is well, then the environment is well, and it sort of spills out into our communities and so far and so forth. So thank you for joining us. This is Upfront with Caz. This is Active Lifestyle on a Wednesday, and we cover all the dimensions of wellness. And joining me shortly, Pabi Moloi, and of course she grew up on television and radio, very talented, and she's agreed to come on board. It's an exciting week. Tomorrow I've got Dr. Massimo Stocci from Spain, and he'll be talking to us about everything to do with the lockdown and how everyone is getting affected, how it affects relationships. On Friday, we've got an amazing artist from England, Rosella Miller, and she sang that hit song Everybody's Free, 90s mega hit, and I Believe I Can Fly, which was the NBA title song. And so I'm going international now, so we'll be interviewing Rosella on Friday. So awesome stuff. And so we're building, and after lockdown, we'll be, obviously in studio, and I'll be going on to location to speak one-on-one with all these people, and it's just really been awesome. So thank you for joining us. And as people are joining us, I'll tell everyone exactly what we're doing. Up front with Caz today, Pabi Moloi will join us. Welcome to the show, guys. We're going to give you as much information on wellness today. You can see I've just finished my workout. Did a nice session of leg training this morning. Every day, try and do something different, splitting up the body parts. Today, I'm talking to Pabi Moloi. We'll be covering the 7 dimensions of wellness. Things that you can do in each area, to live a more fulfilled life. So thank you for joining us so far. We've got a couple of people on the line. Don't go anywhere. It's going to be a nice show. And of course, we do this every week. Monday, I'm with Hlomla Dandala. We do Reel to Reel. That talks about movies and acting and getting into character. Tuesday, I talk to Colin Nathan inside the ring about everything to do with boxing. And yesterday we covered Tyson Fury. Tomorrow is Dr. Massimo Stocci. We will talk about everything to do with psychological and stuff. And on Friday, it's Rosella Miller, the singer of some hit dance tracks. But today it's Pabi Moloi, and she is joining us right now, and we'll chat about everything to do with wellness. If you missed the show here, we repost it on the Instagram, and we go live on YouTube. So stand by. Welcome, Doc. We've got Dr. Massimo Stocci Fontana, all the way from Spain. Pabi Moloi on the line, who's my co-host for the show every Wednesday. Hello, Pabi Moloi. Drum roll. Here she comes. You check that drum roll. You missed that drum roll. It was like
that was my drum roll?
Yes.
Thank you.
Greetings, everyone. Welcome to a Win Wednesday session of Upfront with Caz. We call this Active Lifestyle. co-host Pabi Moloi, and this is the foundation of many great things to come. Welcome to the show. Every week we want to unpack wellness. And I was just telling the viewers before you joined that there's 7 dimensions of wellness. A lot
Yeah.
of people may be wondering, how come I'm not balanced, things aren't right? Because you want to get balanced in all the different dimensions of wellness. So I say every week we're going to be unpacking them and giving them pointers. As we go through our own growth, we want to share with them as well. How are you this weekend? What was the weekend like? Any exciting news from government and everyone else? What have you got to tell us?
From government. That's hilarious.
Latest.
I don't know anybody in government, despite
You
what
do,
people know.
Cyril. Did Cyril talk to your uncle?
I've had such a fantastic week. I don't even know how to explain it. I'm so relaxed. I'm so at ease. Everything's been going incredibly well. And hearing the news of going into lockdown 3 is so good, because there's certain things that I wasn't able to do that I'd really like to be able to do now. So that's really opening up a lot. And what else? Yeah, I mean, this cold front.
What is lockdown 3 going to be? Because I didn't catch the full president's speech. What will we be allowed to do in lockdown 3?
So we're probably just going to have a lot more freedom in lockdown 3. So I know that the churches want to have services of 50 members or less. So that's going to go ahead and happen. More stores are going to be open. You can probably move around a little bit more. But things like having our masks on and making sure that if we can work from home, things like that are going to stay in place. So I know that, I mean, there are a lot of home improvement stores and things that I really need. That guys were like, no, we're not operating properly yet. So now they're going to be. So I'm excited about that.
Okay, cool.
So, and you, how are you doing?
I'm awesome. Wonderful, and everything's sort of falling into place. I think we talked about scheduling last week, and this week was just about putting plans and strategies for every day to make sure that every day has a focused point, like it's heading somewhere, not just empty. So, like for example, today we're talking about wellness, and we want to unpack that, and of course, I mean, because you're the expert on as far as interviewing, and stuff like that, I want you to throw things. I wanted to do this more one-on-one with you, where we share and you ask a lot of questions, because I can't obviously say things unless people ask certain questions. But what I do want to focus on is what I am educated to talk about, which is the 7 dimensions of wellness. And if I may break them down before we go any further. So we've got physical wellness. And physical wellness incorporates, exercise, health, and nutrition. Then we've got emotional wellness, and that's how we feel. And if you don't feel right, things aren't going to be right. And then we've got intellectual wellness, and that's also mental wellness. And a lot of people are going through depression, and especially during lockdown, they may not know what to do. You also have social wellness, occupational wellness, environmental wellness, and spiritual wellness. Now, a lot of times when things are off balanced, we're not happy. So every week we'd like to give them, little pointers as to how to do better in all of these different fields. So
and I think it's so important that we focus on having a holistic look at what things are, right? Because I know for sure. So there's been a thing that's been trending a lot, right? They're 2 superstar celebrity women who I really, really respect. Who went online and they were showing some of their either things that they've done before in terms of motivational talks, or trying to like really stimulate and motivate young people. And they talked about how, like, I don't know if you saw this trending when I was 18. So when I was 18, and the big criticism towards what they were saying was, you don't know who you are or what you're about when you're 18. And I think it's so interesting that came up, because 18 was maybe 2 or 3 years ago for me. And
just as you're older than me then. Ma'am, I must respect you.
You have to say Ospo. And when I was 18, there
Yeah.
were a lot of things that I thought were the be all and end all of my um, success,
Yeah.
of my, like, the pinnacle of being was A, B, and C. And for me, the way my ambition is set up, it was all about go out, break boundaries, make money, slay. That was it for me. Then I got to a point where I had accumulated some life experience, and then it became more about, oh my gosh, what is it that makes my heart sing, that really gives me joy? Now I have a little bit more life experience, and I'm going, oh, wait, I can't sacrifice my entire self for this thing that gives me so much joy, right? Whatever it is, whether it's your career, whether it's your children, whatever it is, I have to find me in the process. I had kind of lost me in the mix of, the last 3 or 4 years, And so I'm at that point. So at every stage, you're going to go, hang on, I don't know everything. I'm going to have to recalibrate, stop, collaborate, and listen. I'm going to have to do that thing.
Yes.
And that's where the dimensions of wellness come in, because one of the dimensions was, oh, when I lose weight, I'm going to be happy and everything's going to be perfect.
Yeah.
Well, I lost the weight,
And then,
and life is still happening the way life happens. And I don't think it's about berating anybody who really believes that going in a certain direction is the right thing. I think it's about understanding that at every stage of your life, you're going to think that this is the thing now I have to solve, and then everything's going to be perfect. It's very natural. People feel that way, think that way. It's a way of it's an outlook when you don't necessarily have all the life experience yet, and none of us do. So we're going to slip up. We're going to speak our truth as if it is the gospel truth. But really, what those two young ladies were doing was speaking their truth. All
yes.
you can do, Caz, is speak your truth. All I can do
Only
is
speak.
speak my truth. That's all it is. And so it's such a beautiful thing to be able to look back and go, hang on, oh wow, I thought all of these things were what's going to be the key that solves everything in my life. But actually, all 7 of these dimensions will pop up and have a greater importance at some stage of your life than others. So it's important to realize that there are so many, and it is important to look at all of them.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, you'll never know until people are having this discussion, because I never knew until I studied it. I thought it was just go and train, get muscles. Like you said, when I was 18,
Yeah.
become a star. And then you get these things and you're left feeling empty, because unless you're happy with who you are, unless there's a bit of self-love, you're left feeling empty. So I think the most important thing is, how do we get to a place of self-acceptance? Along your journey, what gave you the most self-acceptance? Where are you now? How are you accepting yourself?
Yeah.
How are you being okay with yourself and not so hard on yourself? Because we can tend to beat ourselves up.
Yeah. I'm very, very hard on myself by nature. I'm naturally quite introspective. So if something goes wrong, say something goes wrong with this broadcast, I won't blame you. I'll look at me and go, hang on, what could I have done differently? Now, when abusive people get into the mix with people like that, they can turn that and, like, poke at you all the time and say, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. So the first thing to do is to assess reality. What is the reality here? What has happened? Where am I today? What's going on? And the reality is, I'm doing the best that I can. I'm actually doing quite well, like doing good things. Things is popping, and there's no reason to believe external stimulus, and that's like a huge thing. And it's huge because then when nasty cat says a nasty thing, and I'm like, I choose not to believe external stimulus. Then when Caz says nice things to me, I've also got to choose not to believe external stimulus, to treat it the same way, to go, hang on, what is true about what he's saying? Yes, I am good at interviewing. Yes, that is true. There's a proven track record. Fantastic. So it's things like that you kind of have to.
I know.
It sounds like a lot of work, but once you internalize it and you're able to be your own gauge of your own self-esteem and esteem yourself, then you're flying.
I think with me, because I always, it's been easier for me to see the star in people. I can acknowledge that about myself. I see light. And I love the light I see in certain people. So if the people notice that I'm talking to different people on each day of the week, these are specific people that I really believe know their thing. Like
Yeah.
you, Tomla, Colin, whoever I'm talking to, that you guys know your thing.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I've seen you guys, like myself, getting in your own way and
Yes.
not your own self-worth. So in essence, what I'm trying to do, even though I've got a very small platform, is get that confidence up, get the conversation going so that finally you realize, oh, whoa, this is where I'm meant to be. It's actually about us. It's not about me. It's about all of us. And each one of us playing our part on the team. Like, I'm not Pabi. Pabi could be a striker. Maybe Caz is a defender.
Right.
Caz can't be a defender, a midfielder, a goalkeeper. Maybe Caz is the manager. Maybe Caz can
Yeah.
see the best players in the team. So this
Yeah.
is what's happening. I think in everyone's life situation, it's about surrounding yourself with good people that are all good at what they're doing. And together, you don't have to win it alone. You can do this together. And
But the
together,
first place to begin is to identify and accept that
yes.
that is who you are. And so that's the thing about youth. I do believe that when one is young, one has to go and try out to be a striker, and try out to be a defender, and try out to be the one who slices the oranges and brings them onto the field at halftime, and try out to be all of those things until you find the thing that resonates with you, that you're good
Yes.
at, and that makes you happy. So there's when people are like, stay in your lane, I'm like, whatever. Do all of the things out of your lane, in your lane, or out, create a new lane, whatever it is that you want to do until you find the thing that resonates with you.
Yeah. So talking about that, there's a motivational speaker called Gary V. He's this Russian guy who went to America with his family, and he's this amazing energy. If you guys want to check him out, Gary V on Instagram, and he's everywhere. He invested in Facebook. He invested in Instagram, all these places early on. He's got this energy. And some people believe that to be a motivator, you got to be an asshole. He's actually like, you don't have to be an asshole. You can be nice.
Okay.
But
Why would you have to be an asshole? Explain that to me.
no, but there's some people, because I've worked with some people that say, Kaz, bro, your heart is too soft. Until you learn how to be a beep, 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 you're never going to get anywhere in the world because people are going to walk.
Of course. Okay, I get that.
But Gary Vee is like, no. He says, sometimes you are standing in your own way, thinking too much. Get the content out. He said, do it. Because only by doing it will you learn the lessons. Because we learn the lessons while doing it, not just talking about it. You got to be about it. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's also about not limiting yourself. Sometimes you can be staying in your lane, and your lane is fear. But until you overcome the fear, and when you overcome the fear, the lane opens up.
Yeah.
How did you manage to realize that, like, it's okay to do different things, like do the TV, do the radio? I know you're still battling with the fact that you can still sing because you're trying to hold things back. You're trying to hold back who you really are and be all that you can be. How do you deal with the fact that it's okay to be more than just one thing?
I think I'm lucky because I come from a family where everyone's everything. Like my mom had music albums out. She was a TV actress. She was a stage and theater and film actress. She was a television presenter. She sold insurance, Now she's doing all sorts of things in the finance world. In her retirement, she is the one who made my garden blossom. So I look at her and I'm like, I am the fruit of this loin. So surely there's something that I can do. Also, I was blessed with the most unbelievable lack of fear. When I was young, I was just so brave. I had no fear whatsoever, and I could walk into a space and do and do and do. As I got older, the fear started manifesting as well, and it became a little bit of a trade-off between what is then comfortable and successful and what is a new venture and adventure. So I'm still grappling that. I mean, now that I have a child, there's a lot less that I'm willing to necessarily venture too far out and take such big risks.
Yeah.
But I also know that it's important to still take risks as a parent, because it helps my son look at me and be more confident as well. That, you know, if mommy succeeds, wow, mommy did something that she didn't know she could do, or she learned a new skill, or she got a new degree, I can do that too. I can also be the best that I can be. And if mommy fails, how I interact and treat failure will also show him that, you know, no one died. It's okay. You're gonna grow. It's fine.
But did you find like I found out like also at 17, 18, I didn't give a damn. The world was my oyster. In fact, in your teenage years, you feel like you're 50, like you're an adult. Like this, I'm the man, I'm the woman, whatever. And then I found that by getting into the entertainment industry and becoming known, there's one article and it's positive and this, and then there's some haters that pop up and you take it personally because you take the highs personally. So now you're floating on Mars, but then you take the disses personally as well, and you forget that not everyone will like everything that you do. Not everyone likes everyone. Not everyone likes Mother Teresa.
Yeah,
you know,
that is one of the most liberating things on earth. Like, not everyone's gonna like you.
But it's
and
hard.
even the people who do like you, they're not gonna like everything you do.
Yes.
Like, so case in point, small example, big example, right?
Yeah.
So style, fashion. There was a time in my career where I was so petrified that I was always on the worst dress list. I was always like, the you know, gosh, what is she wearing? You know, always that, always, because I was so scared of what people would think. So I would dress thinking of what people would think, right?
Fear you.
Invariably, I'd mess it up. It would be ridiculous. Yeah. Then, after a while, I was like, you know, do I feel good in this? Yes. Do I feel comfortable in this? Yes. Does it show a little bit of my personality? Yes. Okay, I'm going to go with it.
Yeah.
And that's it. And I won style awards. I've been on covers of magazines. I've walked ramps. Thank goodness I didn't have to talk on the ramps. I walked ramps. And
I walked ramps, yeah.
And it's really about that letting go of whether people will like you or not like you. Listen, you know, I just want to say to anyone who's watching, we say these things, and it's not every single day that I wake up and I'm like, I'm going to do what I like. I'm going to be who I am. You know, some days it's really every hour you're thinking, oh, okay, just calm down, be within yourself, love yourself. And so you ask the question, how have I been gentle with myself? It's exactly that, like coaching myself, speaking to my inner child. You're loved, you're cared for, everything's going to be okay. Don't worry about it. I mean, today I'm in like tracksuit pants and casual wear, right?
Cool.
And I don't usually do that. I'm like, I didn't even really have tracksuit pants. You know, someone had to give me tracksuit pants. I wear gym gear or I'm like out in outfits. And over lockdown's been such a gift because
this is as me as you could get.
Where are you going? What are you doing? Like, you're okay. What do you need to do? Wake up, brush your teeth, take a bath. Then you're done. Like, that's do the things that you have to do.
So I was going to say to you, what's cool about lockdown is that it's given me an opportunity to really self-reflect. And we were talking about how you talk to yourself conversations.
Yeah.
And I was looking back at the moments when I've been, like, because in Korea, in everyone's life, there's ups, downs, and everything else. It's just one of the laws of the universe is the law of rhythm. There's going to be, whatever goes up comes down. It's just, once you understand there's certain laws in the universe, and don't get upset by them, just observe and be in the flow. So I noticed that. I was like, okay, so when I was really on top of my game in any way or any day, what was I thinking? What was I doing? And I was following certain principles. I was not only physically exercising, but mentally reading certain literature, watching certain things. So I talk about this one line I wrote once, I keep company with prophets. Now, prophets aren't necessarily here today. I'm saying is there's maybe the Christ, the Buddha, the this, the that. Enlightened people are everywhere. You can keep company with them just by tuning in harmoniously with your thoughts. So I realized that what you're talking about, there you go, is daily. Consciously be aware and be with it daily. It's not something you do once or twice or for 1 week and then, okay, you're sweet. Now you're the most positive person in the world and you're carefree. No, especially if you someone like some people like we've had PTSD, for example, where daily got to wake up, give thanks,
Yeah.
acknowledge, and then you know what I'm saying.
So I showed you this because this is Joyce Meyer, and she's a preacher, but she's got a book called Battlefield of the Mind. Now this is old, eh? I got this maybe when I was at Metro, so that's more than 10 years ago. But every day there's a different devotional where you read in the morning, like just something positive to infuse into your day. And that brings us to you know, our 7 dimensions of wellness. The first one is intellectual and mental wellness, right?
So exactly, that hits it on the nail. Whatever you read, you digest, and what happens is whatever you read or think about is in your conscious. Right. And I've been aware of it. It's going to slip down into the subconscious. So the subconscious is where things go out there and affect the universe and work in the interspaces, and that's how things manifest. But things manifest based on consistency. So basically, consistency of dissing yourself, of living in a fear-based mentality. You start asking yourself, why am I here? It's because of how we've been thinking and feeling. So if we want to change our realities, obviously we've got to change how we think and feel. You know, what are you reading right now? What are you focusing on right now? What are you creating for the next chapter in your future? What are you consciously focusing on now?
No, I think that, oh, me. Yes. Oh, a lot of things. Some are a little bit too personal because they're still in their very embryonic stage for me. But ultimately, the thing that I want to be able to walk through life with is faith. I'm trying to like up the faith. You know, faith is like you're walking along and you don't know if the bridge is going to be there, but every step there's a little bit of bridge, under you and you don't fall. So I'm naturally going to walk like this, whereas God's just saying, look, just walk. I'm there. I've got you. I'm going to catch you. And so I'm just working on that feverishly and fervently every day.
A friend of mine, his name is Lance, and his mum was this beautiful lady. She was so warm-hearted, and what happened back in the day, I didn't have a stove. I used to train, but I used to take my chicken breasts and I used to cook it at their house. And while I used to grill these things, we talk. And she was just a spiritual woman. Unfortunately, she passed away from cancer. But I thought about her yesterday, and you know what she told me? She's the first person that told me. She says, Caz, you know what faith is? I was like, yeah, when you have faith in something. She says, no, faith is the belief in things that are unseen.
Yeah.
And she broke it down again. She says, when you have faith, you believe in things that are unseen. But there's a key to unlock faith, and that is gratitude.
Yeah.
She says, but just by being thankful, think about it, having gratitude opens up the door to, it makes it easier to be faithful. And I was just thinking about it yesterday. So funny.
That's nice.
Some people are talking here. Just read here and see what some of our guests are asking. So your girl says, so basically,
whatever that you manifest in your life is the result of what you allow to sink into your subconscious mind.
Yeah.
And I challenge us all to think about what we see around us, right? So on the macro level, it's coronavirus and whatever, right? So I'm not messing with that. But on our own internal level, like what is it that you've manifested in your life? Like what are your relationships like with your parents, with your loved ones, with your partner, with your kids? What is your work life like? Is that reflecting back to you, perhaps, that you have walked in a way that has undermined yourself? Mm-hmm. Think very honestly. Have you been critical of yourself? Have you undercut yourself in negotiations? Have you gone out with a feeling of being lesser than?
Yeah.
And do you feel that your work then is reflecting back to you lesser than? Right?
Yeah.
And obviously, none of these things work in isolation, right? So we're talking about a country where Black people have been disadvantaged for so long. Black women are right at the bottom of the totem pole. Education is an issue. Even if you have education, getting work is an issue. The unemployment rate, blah blah blah. So I'm not saying that think positively and nothing else will affect you. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying if you want an example of what your girl Mute is saying, that what you allow to sink into your subconscious mind is what you manifest. Just think about one or two things and look at, oh wow, okay, yeah, this is how I'm calling out into the universe what is being brought back to me.
I think what's important about this is that maybe because we talk all the time and we're on this tip, we think sometimes you could tend to assume that everybody knows. But here's the thing. 1% of the world's population owns 99% of everything. Wealth, health, everything. And so the question is, but why is it so unfair? Now, when you've had the luxury or the gift of being able to just to be in the presence of some people, because not all rich people are bad people.
No.
We have come across certain people, and there is a certain way of doing things. There is a secret, whether you like it or not. I don't know if people have heard about the book, but it's beyond that. Even if you read the holy books, there's stuff in there that tells you whatever you think about will come on your tongue. Watch what you speak about. Watch if you judge or not. Do not judge. So whatever you focus on creates a momentum. Whatever you put in the word.
Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So there are people in my world who consistently have negative things to say. And I think that must be so, when you have, what is that thing that pregnant women get? Heartburn. That thing here. And like, it feels like green, yucky things are moving in you. That's how I imagine constantly having negativity in your heart. Like you're constantly full of bile, basically.
That's right. Now, here's the thing, and before we go, because we only have a couple of minutes left, this is the most amazing thing that Mike Proctor is one of the gentlemen. He's about 80 years old, this gentleman, but he said, we all tend to sometimes focus on the old story. Like, let's say I speak to you and I'm like, oh, my bills, and I grew up in yes, we're not taking away the reality that we grew up in poverty, but do this, write it down, tell the story one more time, and then let it go. From this moment on, we have to stubbornly focus on how grateful we are for the little things, because guaranteed, and there's proof in this, only when we're grateful for the little things, from the little pinky finger to the slice of bread, and are able to be joyful for those little things, will more come. The universe almost responds. It's like, okay, she appreciates that cup of water. Why don't we just put in a bottle there?
Yeah.
There's certain universal laws. So if I can leave, that's my last words for today. What have you got to say?
I mean, it also is about a perception shift, right? So if you look at a difficult situation and you go, oh, what am I learning here? What can I take from this? Like, this is my biggest lesson. How amazing. This job loss has come as my biggest lesson. That one's hard because then you also have to pay bills. That one's very hard. But whatever the thing is that's challenging you is your biggest lesson in that moment. And it's actually just such a precious thing. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. And then it shifts, like you're getting better. You're getting sharper. You're getting stronger. And your paradigm shifts and you're able to walk in a different way. And again, I don't know why we always have to say this, but I do know why. Yeah. A little while ago, I was stuck in a very negative headspace. I was in the space where I couldn't see the light out of a situation. I couldn't understand when people were like, you're gonna feel so grateful and so full and so capable at the end of this. I couldn't see it. And so when people would talk to me about, and then you just think positively and it's going to be your greatest lesson, I'd be like, please shut up.
Yeah.
And when people would say as a caveat that it's not all roses, and actually it's like when you train your muscles, you're going to have to hurt initially, you're going to have days where you just don't want to do it, and you're going to have days where you want to cheat, but just stick with it and eventually the results will come. Then I believe them.
Yeah.
Then I believe them. I don't necessarily believe someone floating on a cloud, gurus mang mang. I don't believe that. I believe a person that I've seen how you walk, and I've seen how you walk your talk.
Action shouts, eh? Action shouts.
That's it.
So this is the thing is, for anyone watching, this is what we're going to continue to do every Wednesday, is talk about what we've learned during the week and unpack it. Because the truth is, it's not just about being airy-fairy. There's certain rules to it. It's like 1 + 1 = 2, but you got to learn to count first. So we're going to unpack this with you guys. You got to focus on what you think about, what you read, who you talking to. Focus on what you're speaking about. Are you rehab? Are you talking about the same things that depress you? Try focusing and talking about things that lift your spirit. Maybe for this week, write a list of all the things that make you happy.
I want to interrupt you there. It is very important if you are going through a grieving process, or if you are going through a healing process from a trauma or abuse or whatever. It is so important to talk about the trauma, but please try and find people who are trained and who know how to handle that.
Or have been there before.
Exactly. If you are speaking just in J, then it's going to become the record in your mind, and you're going to be stuck. But if you're able to speak to someone who's able to break it down for you, unpack it for you, help you to heal and have a breakthrough, because it's one of the signs of trauma. If you talk about a thing over and over again, it means that it really did impact you and traumatize you. It traumatizes you. So please don't ever also, because the opposite happens, that people then just keep quiet, and that's not a healthy way to go. So the balance is so important. And I love what you're saying, Caz. Think about things that you're grateful for, that you're happy about, that you may have to uncover a little bit that lockdown is so boring, I want to go out. But actually, look at what lockdown has done. This is what it's done for me. My world is so quiet. I don't have interruptions. I'm not rushing here, rushing there. I have time to sit and read my books. I walk barefoot in the grass in the garden. Do you know how much preschool? I could be a preschool teacher. No, I couldn't be a preschool teacher. Shout out to the preschool teachers. Really, God, you are God for preschool. But I'm doing so much cutting and things that I wouldn't have been able to do, that I'm so grateful for. So yeah, one step at a time.
That is great. And I think to clarify what we're talking about is, some people can afford going to a counselor. It's quite expensive. We here for the 99% that have been through what we've been through, that can't afford to go, that are stuck in lockdown, that are in a place where maybe you're going to the worst time in your life. And I just want to let you know that God is great. There is a way. We're here for you, and you're not alone. You're not alone. What's your last words for everyone out there, Pubs?
I'm just going to echo what you're saying. You're not alone. You're absolutely not alone. You're not alone. I just truly believe that. And whether it's people, whether it's your spiritual faith, whether it's your ancestors, whatever it is, you're not alone. You're not alone. You're not alone.
Guys, from me, Caz, and
Pabi Moloi. Thanks, Caz. Thank you.
Yes, we hope to see you guys next week. And of course, this is just the foundation. We're building a whole movement. It's not just about talking rubbish. We want to give back, and we're learning in the process, because we're also growing. We're continuously growing. We hope to see you next week, same time, same place. Love you, Pabi. Love you guys at home.
Always. And thank you very much for your comments. This last one from your girl Mute says, I remember when we were going to start lockdown, my boss sent us home. And he said, you're not going to be stuck at home. You're going to be safe at home. Your mindset matters. Check that out.
Awesome. Guys, we love you. We'll see you next time. So tomorrow, check this out, Pabi, I've got Dr. Massimo Stocci
Oh,
Fontana.
what?
He's a Spanish psychologist, and
Nice.
he's going to help me talk about what people are going through during lockdown and how relationships have. And then on Friday, I got Rosella Miller from England, the singer of that song, Everybody's Free. You would know that song. I don't want to try and attempt to sing Everybody's Free. But Rosella's here on Friday. Every day we're going to keep this going. So I want to thank you guys, all you guys who help me contribute to giving awesome content.
Can I ask you to do one thing? Can you save this live video? Because you can make it available for us for 24 hours, eh? So can you save it?
Pabi.
Is it always there?
After this, I save it and then I log it straight on as a live, as an IGTV video. Then I edit it and I put it on my YouTube channel, Caz Abrams, One Up Productions. All the interviews we have done are on my page. Check them out.
I know that they're on YouTube, but someone just asked, can you save this live? So
So it'll take about 10 minutes and it'll be live on this page. Thank you so much. Keep shining. Keep shining.
Keep smiling. Bye-bye. Thanks,
Cheers.
everyone.
Bye, guys. God bless you.